You good?
Quiet on set!
Are we good?
We're good.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 12 Volt Buzz. I am your host, Mike, back on the mic. And in case you're unfamiliar, it's your first time, real quick synopsis of what we do here. We have some adult beverages. We talk about 12-volt mobile electronics. We tell stories. When the beverages are done, we're going to move on to an asinine story of something that I've been privy to experience my time in the industry. So, our guest today is another fellow installer. A lot of people simply know him as Lazaro Cantu, but around these parts, in the 806, we know him as Luscious. So, let's go ahead and get Mr. Lazaro Luscious Cantu out here. I'm Mike. I've been in the mobile electronics industry for 27 years. In that time, I've met some crazy characters and seen a lot of things. On this channel, we're going to meet some of those characters, talk 12 volts, tell stories, all while having some adult beverages. This is 12 Volt Buzz.
Oh, God.
There
Luscious.
you go. Yeah. What's going on?
What's going on, sir?
Thank you for doing this.
Thanks, Mike. Man, I was excited about doing this.
Right.
I really was. Yeah.
So,
we got to do it before, but we didn't get to use it. We had technical difficulties.
We did film an episode before, but the file was so big when I was trying to transfer it, it just freaking went into space.
Too big.
So somewhere out there, somebody up above is enjoying himself a little bit of 12 volt buzz. Now, real quick, tell us a little bit.
These are good.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, man. Okay, so I started in even messing with. Originally, I didn't even like cars. I really didn't. I hated having to mess with them. My dad was the one always doing oil changes on it. I just didn't want anything to do with the car, and I kept blowing through them. And I'd buy a cash car here and there, and then I'd end up messing something up, and I'd have to go find a new car. Well, I ended up taking on a job doing oil changes for a good little bit, and I got a knack for it. I was like, I like swapping things out on cars. I like doing oil changes. It's pretty easy. Well, then after that, I started going into electrical things. I started noticing my freaking windows weren't rolling up right, or, car isn't starting. What's going on? It has something to do with electrical stuff. So I got a job, I think, right as COVID started. Right as COVID started, I got a job.
Right on the downslope.
With old Tint God. He taught me how to install radios and stuff.
Tint God 1?
Yes.
So if y'all didn't catch the episode with Carson and Fever, Tint God 1 is many a tinner's idol and role model in probably the world.
Yeah,
if you guess it, according to him. Yeah.
No, but yeah, he taught me the basics, and then I really liked it though. I thought it was so cool. I started getting really into remote starts and like real simple base packages, and then I ended up getting hired on with you guys after that. I probably worked with Jimmy for about a year, about a year. And after that, I came here, and shoot, it was nice. I've enjoyed it. I branched my knowledge out like a lot since then. It was awesome.
I mean, and I remember when you came on board, and one thing you take to, and it's better than anybody I've seen, and it's those Cadillac Q screens and anything that Chrysler does, whether it's the 300, the Charger, Challenger. If you're in a place that's hot, the screens delaminate
All the time. It's so
and
bad.
yeah, if you take it to the dealership, they just want to charge you to replace. Let's just replace it all.
No.
But there's a thing called the digitizer.
Yeah, that's actually I know that's why you brought it up. So like that's actually one of the things I think I impressed my boss that I have now working here. I think that's what I impressed him on most. Whenever I was working at my other previous job, there was it was right around the time digitizers were. Man, you take your Cadillac to the Cadillac house, and it was like $1,300 to get that screen replaced. Yep. And it like people are just, why is it so much? Why is it so expensive? Well, I happened to see a video on YouTube, and it was talking about how these screens are like $26. Buy them on Amazon, and then it shows you how to take it out of the radio, put the new one on. and it fixes everything for 26 to 25 bucks.
Right,
And,
yeah.
and so I was like, well, shoot, I'm going to capitalize on that. So I bought me like 5-10 screens, and I sat there and did little digitizers for like $700-800. I think I did a few for $1,000, but then I was like, I feel bad. So I felt like I was.
I mean, at some
That's
point,
that's more than 100% profit, you know.
yeah. But you know, it's kind of weird because sometimes you're just like, well, I mean, the going rate is 12, 13,
Yeah.
and you're still doing it cheaper. But then, yeah, I get it. You're kind of like, well,
Well, like how fast? I mean, like how fast, Mike, can I get one of them screens done?
like within 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and
like labor. So what is that labor? Like you're $1,000 an hour,
Right.
Like Jesus, like what
And,
are you
and
doing?
if anybody doesn't know, like I've done this 27 years, and it takes me about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, and doesn't really. And even the other guy we have, that Leonard feller, it takes him about 45 minutes or whatever. And yeah, it's one of those things you took to, and it's always if it's coming in, I think you see it on the thing, you already know it's for you. Like unless you're just not here, then of course one of us
Not here,
will.
in Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas. Yeah, you'll hear a lot of references to dumb movies from time to time. That's
Joe
just
Dirt.
yeah. I guarantee you, we're not the only bay in the country that does that. Somewhere out there, somebody's going to hear that and be like, "Oh shoot, yeah, I'm talking about Clem." Now, as long as you've been doing this, what has been the easiest thing for you to pick up? Because we cover, your simple head unit installations, speaker installations, amp installations, remote starts, troubleshooting. Right? We I don't know how many times I've seen you do an alternator, starter, something that's not even really in the job description, but they know
Yeah.
that we have the capability of doing it. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh well, we'll just add that to the pile.
Yeah, of
What
course.
would be the thing you say that just, bam, you just gravitated towards it, and it was the easiest thing for you to pick up?
Honestly, I would say remotes, radios, and speakers. Of course, I don't think anybody has a hard time picking those up. But like, out of things that other people probably would not have such an easy time, I'd probably say remote starts.
Remote start.
Yeah, remote
And
starts are just. I don't know. It was cool. It was cool. Learning
so
how to read
you
diagrams.
you kind of come into that time period. Was it like 5 years now? You've been doing this, maybe
yeah,
5 years.
just about.
So, and I mean, it's been around a little bit longer, but it's just commonplace now. So older days, any of the older installers know it was hardwire. We wire for wire, right? If you needed a power, you needed an ignition, and now we've got the luxury of T harnesses and
Plug and play.
plug and play. But you're still in that aspect where you learned hardwire. So you can still go
Yeah.
back and hardwire a vehicle. Because I know some people that just can't. They're like, if it's not a T harness, they don't want to install it. What would be your... Because I know for me, I do not like doing Volkswagens. Certain older models are kind of a pain to
Yeah.
work on. What vehicle do you not like?
Definitely anything that I'm having to make or I'm having to wrap the wire around the key. I hate that.
Oh, okay.
I
yeah.
always end up having you do it too because I just hate doing it. I'm like, dude, I wrapped it 4 times. Like, it says 5 times. Wrap it around 5 times. What am I doing wrong? I don't know. Let me see. And it works for you just fine. I don't know.
It's just a matter of, that's kind of where experience and placement comes in.
Yeah.
Because there was
I know.
times, so there's the old key wrap technology, right? And all that is the customer's going to lose a key.
Don't know. You won't know.
And a lot of times it's going to be Mercedes, BMW, or something. And inside that key, it's a little laser encrypted transponder. And when
It
you
has to
wrap
read
that
that.
wire around and it goes to the cylinder, we're basically energizing that cylinder to read that code to start the vehicle.
And what sucks is it's those really nice those expensive cars like your Mercedes, your Volkswagen, because I don't have these issues with Chevys. I don't think. Do we? Do we have any that we have to wrap?
They don't require that. No, it's just
none
straight.
of those.
It's
Maybe
all straight
a Ford.
database.
A Ford occasionally you have to have 2 keys just because you have to program both keys. But like that's really about it. You don't have like then you start getting into the harder stuff with the more expensive cars. It becomes a problem.
Well, you talk about that, and recently, and I didn't even, and
Yeah.
as long as, I know I heard of it probably like a year ago, but we recently just got to use the hub
Yeah, that was cool.
from
We should have
First
brought
Tech.
that. We should have brought that on here. That would have
So,
been cool to talk about.
A lot of times, if you don't know what we're talking about,
CompuStar.
on a remote start, sometimes if a customer didn't have 2 keys, and that's what the remote start calls for programming, well, now they've got to go purchase another key, and some of these keys are $250 up to $500.
Yeah.
So First Tech came out with a thing called the hub that we can plug it in, and we can put the one key that they do have inside that unit, and it pretty much clones that key.
It basically makes a digital version of that key as if it's actually in the car too.
Yeah.
This is like groundbreaking technology too. It's a game changer.
It is a game
I'm gonna
changer.
draw
Yeah,
that
like
picture.
if you've ever seen that movie Basketball, That's what this
Yep,
is. It's
for
not.
real.
It's not one or the other. It's
Forever.
both. We're combining two things into one great, great item. And yeah, First Tech. I was amazed getting to do that because originally on this Volkswagen Jetta, and we're talking a 2011 here, right?
Yeah,
They were going to need a secondary key, but with the hub, we were able to clone that and get it in there. Easy remote start versus old days where we're sitting there wrapping the damn key, and like you say, you got to try it.
Yeah.
Didn't work because it's got to be exact, otherwise, and then you got to secure it in a way it's going to stay that way, or that client is going to be calling you, hey, it's not remote starting anymore, and you already
Oh,
like,
guess what? It got unraveled.
yeah, it came unraveled.
Yeah. I hate that.
What would you say has been the hardest thing for you to grasp?
Oh, man. Honestly, it's tuning. It's tuning, like tuning with DSPs. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I can hear fine whenever I'm doing like a subwoofer, just a subwoofer, like a monoblock amp on some subs. I'm fine with tuning that. I'm good with that. But when it came to like trying to get the microphone in to pick up the right frequency, how do I change that per channel? Like, that's difficult. Like with the, what is it called? The
Match, the Helix, anything under the MSC America umbrella, which love those products, by the way.
I do too. But like I said, you definitely
I'm
need
going to
to
show you some of that in a minute. But
you need to have some schooling to actually be able to do that. I like that here at this job, like we get to go to those schoolings sometimes.
You really do, because we went to Phoenix and went to MSC America and got to learn how to tune, and that was kind of like just a precursor to kind of what things are going now. Because we got a Leonard fella, right? He's one of the owners, but he's also and he is
he's pretty good with
when it comes to tuning. Yeah, he's on it and he's doing his thing.
You kind of say like, who's the kind of like how you were like who takes snack? How do you? What was it you said?
Who takes to it, right?
Yeah,
Like
who
the fish
takes
and water.
to it quick? Yeah, that is definitely something he takes.
Yeah,
to.
he did, and he loves it. He enjoys it, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where you're at. I mean, I can kind of get you in your basic tune or whatever, but there are so many things that go further.
I would say I know he's talking to you about it, right?
Yeah, because it goes further than
you're
what.
supposed to bridge down the information to me.
Yeah,
at
so it's
some point.
supposed to go. It's supposed to go like Padawan, right? From basically
young
Jedi
Jedi.
Master
I'm
to a
the young
Padawan.
Jedi and Padawan.
So we got like a Obi-Wan Kenobi when it comes to digital tuning, only not as cool as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then, so it's supposed to come down here and then to you. And I've always sat there and said, and I don't know how you feel about it because we've talked about it before. I'm at 50 years old and you're what, 31?
Yes, sir.
So my legs are giving out, my back's giving out, and I gotta keep some of that for the woman. I can't let it all go away, right?
That's where it's going.
I've always said I see you as a protege, as a protege, as the one that when I'm gone, I'm hoping it's you that kind of takes my place because the industry only moves forward if the people are moving forward with it. So I feel like you coming in when you did, you kind of have, I would say, best of both worlds. You got two old dogs in myself and Leon, but yet you come in during the time where everything's kind of digital age. So you're learning analog, but at the same time, you're growing up in the digital age. You're like a digital girl.
I feel digital world.
In a digital world, right? Yeah.
No, I like that I've grown up in this time period. It definitely helps learning the old ways of cars because I definitely worked at a shop where all I did was work on a bunch of old junk cars. Then I came to this shop. This is more high end jobs, newer vehicles. I see a lot more newer vehicles than I see older vehicles now, like for sure. But yeah, it's nice knowing that I can always go back, or if I don't have this, maybe this isn't in their budget, I can go cheaper routes because I know of more or less what I can do for their car because I've had to do it before already. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Hate to interrupt, but are newer cars or older cars better for y'all?
I like newer, honestly.
So right now
but
we
it's
have
because it's plug and play. Like
so we have our FNG, and if you didn't catch the very first episode, it was Christian that we had on. So I think it varies on the car and probably the installer because I've known some installers that have not worked on older vehicles. So when they get on one, they're literally kind of lost.
That's like that gold car. Like if I were to, if Leon were to have been like, hey, Laws, here's everything I need you to put into this car, I'd have done it in a very long time frame. But this is what you grew up doing.
Yeah, I grew up doing it, right?
This is a piece of cake.
We have a 79 Oldsmobile Royale that's getting all tricked out as far as, audio wise. And, now times a lot of it's just kind of snap apart panels, right? You can just snap apart panels. And the older days, they weren't snap apart. Everything had a screw, and you're unscrewing. And The screws are a lot more visible than they are now, so you don't have to worry about just pulling panels and breaking them.
Same color as the carpet and shit.
But yeah,
It's all
it's
rusted.
all what we call hardwire, right? If there's a positive, you know there's going to be a ground. In today's system, you got a mux wire,
Yeah.
and that multiplexing wire will control
Numerous
one
things.
wire will control every light in that vehicle,
Yeah.
and at a 5-volt power rating versus what you grew up with in the old 12-volt standard. So. What is your most favorite thing to do right now? Like, if it comes in and you're like, man, I want to do that one. I want to do that one.
Oh man. Mic Q screens. No, I'd say remote starts probably.
Remote starts over the
remote
Q
starts.
screens?
Yeah, I like both of those. I do like doing bass packages though, or any kind of sound system packages. They take a lot more time, but when I know like I have a whole day to do this, like it is nice to just sit back and be like, all right, I'm gonna work on a 6-channel system today and install the whole thing. It's done by the end of the day. It's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, the day goes by really fast. And speaking of like amp installs, and it's crazy. There was a time I just really did not enjoy doing amp installs. And when you do it so long, it's just so repetitive. It's kind of boring. And then boom, MSC America, we go, and I'm going to show you guys right now my favorite amp to install. And they got up to 18 channel amps, but this little guy right here
Match, yeah.
is a Match 6 DSP.
And that's the thing too, Mike. These guys have like three branches.
Oh
like
yeah, they
good,
got
better, best.
your
So
Match.
What is this one?
This is going to be your good.
This is like economy, right?
Yeah, and they're
it's
good.
Not economy though. It's not.
Their good is going to be better than a lot of people's best, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But the size of this amplifier, number one, just is amazing. Like that's so. In case anybody want to know, that's real 6 inches right there, right? So don't let the guys tell you otherwise. But
I slapped it right.
not only is it a 6-channel amp, but it has an output for us to run it to a subwoofer amp. But it's got a built-in DSP, and it's a DSP that works freaking phenomenally because you can really fine-tune a system with that. And for some people who are like, oh, $750, is it worth it? Let me tell you this. Try to find a 6-channel amplifier, good one, for under $600.
Yeah.
And then try to find a good DSP by itself for under $500.
It's
gonna be a little difficult.
Got both of those.
All of it built in, and you can tuck this amp anywhere. You can literally take out the factory amplifier and put it in its place.
What's really cool too, Mike, is like I've noticed a lot. You can get on Amazon. You can go find yourself a little. They say DSP amplifier, and you try and log on to it, and you have to download an app and do all kinds of crazy stuff. It doesn't really work out right. But these guys, like we've gone to their schooling, we've done all this. Like I can vouch for these guys. These are good.
Oh yeah,
good amps.
It's amazing because you touch on that, and there's a lot of the DSP is kind of ruling the world, and it has to with these newer vehicles because they come pre-tuned. So if you're out there and don't know what that means, is if you come in with a newer vehicle.
Just tell them about how it was in the old days. How DSPs, we want it to look like a V.
Yeah, so DSPs it was just equalizers, right? You could just kind of boost frequencies, and people really they just wanted to make a design, right? I'm gonna make a W in my EQ. I'm gonna make a V.
Absolutely.
It sounded like crap, but they just wanted a cool design. But with digital signal processing, we're able to completely delay speakers. We can time align everything. We can not only cross over at a certain frequency, but stop it from going past that frequency to keep the speaker in the realm that it was designed to play in, so we can get maximum output with no clipping or minimal clipping, and it just creates an overall experience for that customer that don't worry about cranking your volume up. Crank it up. We've done all the hard work for you. We've gone in there and we've added what you were missing from factory, and we've put it to where that speaker it can safely handle you enjoying your music the way you want to do it, because ultimately that's why we do this is to give you a home theater type of reproduction,
And these are also to the point where they're plug and play as well now, right? That's the best part too. These get to the point where you can literally just plug them into your Bose system.
Yeah, so like with MSC America, they've got
they have really
for BMWs and Mercedes, you can literally buy.
A little wet over here.
We even did a Ford, I think, one day, and came with the Mobridge piece. And it pretty much was a plug and play. We're running, our power lines and things like that. But, I mean, the simplicity of the installation is crazy to me. And I haven't been that excited for amp installs in years. And I'll tell you, the first time I ever got excited, and this was 1999, and I was driving into the Super Kmart parking lot. In my first system, I'd got when I was at Fort Riley, Kansas, right? Mm-hmm. And I was.
Would you have this system in?
It was an '89 Ford Probe, and I thought it was the shit, right? Because it was two Urban Audio Work 12s, and if anybody knows Urban Audio Work, it was made by a company called Target, very cheap. I didn't know that. When being a GI in the military, I went to Junction City Audio in Junction City, Kansas, which is right outside of Fort Riley's gates.
Well, and, how would you know anyways, right?
Right? No, yeah, you didn't know.
Right out of the military, you're just trying to get something that sounds good.
They sold me Bandpass box. The Bandpass was all the rage back then. Two Urban Audio 12s, an Urban Audio 600 watt amp, a Sony cassette player. CD players were out at the time, but this cassette player was so high tech, I could hit the forward button 4 times, and it would fast forward 4 songs.
Skip around.
Yeah, right? I mean, you're sitting there like 5 minutes waiting for it to get to that damn next song, but...
I found an 8-track system like that.
And I paid like $3,500. I paid like $3,500 for the system, right? And when I came back to Lubbock, I remember going to the flea market and I saw the subs that I had in my car, 2 for $50.
Oh no!
And then the amp that I had in my car was $89.99. Yeah, and I was sitting there like, man, they fucking got me, and that's fine, you know. I mean, they got me. That's my freaking. That's my fault. It still banged though, right? It was still banging. So I'm pulling into the parking lot, and I'm just sitting there, and I hear another car booming, and I look, and I see this beautiful green IROC Z28, and guy gets out of the car. His name was Rudy. Can't remember his last name, but he gets out of the car, and I was like, hey man, if you don't mind me asking, like, you know, what do you got in there? And he was all like, I got 2 Fosgate 15s, and I was like, man. He goes, you want to check it out? And I was like, yeah. And he opens up his hatch, and I remember looking, and I was like, I see 2 15s, and I see this big thing. At that time, I didn't know what it was, but it was a huge passive crossover network, and he had a little amp about that big, just 1 amp, and I was like, what? Yeah, what's right? He was like, that right there.
I always loved that too. When you get that, it's whenever you sit there and listen to that clean sound system, and you're like, what's all doing that? And you're looking at that tiny little amp, and you're like, what the fuck?
So he had a precision powered. It was a PPI.
This is back then, right?
Yeah, this is back then. So it was a ProMOS 50, and back then there was a thing called cheater amps, right? So this ProMOS 50 was rated at 25 by 2. It was a 50 watt amp, and as we know, the Wicked One likes to say, I want you to run that stereo bridged. In the old days, some amps you could run tri-mode. So he had Fosgate 6x9s in the rear quarters, and they had put a component set up front. That ran in stereo on the 2 channels, and then he had the 2 15s bridged, and it ran into the passive crossover network, and that crossover separated everything, and it sounded so good that I was like, holy crap. And he was like, you got something in your ride? And I was like, yeah, but nothing like this, you know what I mean?
Show you, man.
Yeah, and so that's kind of like when I was like, I was excited about, like, man, I didn't know they had amplifiers that could like just be that impressive. And when I got into the industry, I love doing amplifiers because it was like, it's gonna bang. You know, when you're working with good equipment, right?
Well, yeah, and that's I think that was the cool part. Like at first, I started out just doing bass packages. We were doing little audio control, 500 watt amp, or no, it was audio pipe 500 watt. Amp with I think they had audio control subs, or was it audio pipe amp or audio pipe subs? I think so. I remember.
Well,
I just remember
audio control just kind of recently came out with subs.
It was like in 2000.
You were dealing with that audio pipe.
2019.
God, even back then, you was laying pipe, man.
Yeah.
But
No.
it's one of the reasons we call them luscious.
No.
So. You know what? Let's get to that real quick, right? In case anybody's wondering.
I had to ask too because I just remember always starting to get called Luscious.
So
why?
Yeah,
why did I get called that? He's like, remember Gary called you that?
Yeah. So we worked at another shop.
Miss Gary.
And we had a guy named Gary Salcedo that known that man for about 20-something years. Great guy. And
great dude.
Laws had recently got a motorcycle, right? He's a motorcycle guy.
Love my bike.
And
Love my bike.
You know, it was one thing just to see him driving it, but we started talking about having like a grand opening, right, for the store.
Yeah.
And of course, we were just throwing dumb ideas out there. But Gary was taking some of these ideas really serious. And one of the ideas he wanted was Lazaro to jump his bike, right?
Yeah. Mind you, guys, I want Christian. You're gonna put a picture. I want to put a picture of my bike. Okay, it is a Yamaha Virago 250. It is a small bike. Okay, it's not meant to be going on no jumps. or going down the hoops of fire.
So,
and he's
but
gonna light the hoop on fire.
Yeah.
And
so-
jump right through.
and we were like joking around, like we're like, dude, you could like jump it off this curb.
He's
and
like,
we could put like,
yeah.
we'd be like, like Laws is gonna kind of like Hot Rod, right? Laws creates world history.
You're playing dynamite.
Yeah, jumps 50
too
cars.
legit to quit.
And we're like, we'll just put like 50 Hot Wheels, line them up, and just have them jump. But so in this particular thing, he was just like, "Come on, man, you gotta do that jump. You gotta do that jump." And Laws gets his badass leather jacket, right? He gets his badass leather jacket. He's riding to work one day, and me and Gary just sitting in the bay, and he looks, and Laws is coming in through, and it's one of those almost like those movie scenes to where, you know, when the sunlight is just right, so all it is a dark silhouette when you're walking in. And Gary's just all like, "Oh, looking luscious." And I was like, "What?" He was all luscious Laws, and it just stuck. And then from there, it became like, dude, we can like put it on the flyer. Luscious Laws makes jump, and he was like, "I want to light."
Still on the jump.
Yeah, he was like,
I hate that.
I want to light the ramp on fire and a hoop." And he was dead set on you just hitting that ramp going through a hoop that it was on fire.
This is a 2002, so the shocks are already shit. Like,
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what
I
would
wanna
be
wait.
better, a bumper sticker or-
yeah.
So yeah, from that moment, it was just like luscious fits. But I mean, when you look at it now, it kind of does fits because I've known many a lady who's just trying to get a tall glass of luscious. Just no matter how many drinks they get, it never quenches the thirst.
Yeah.
So
You know what, Mike? This is what I like about this job. This job keeps me paying attention to what I need to be paying attention to. So that's.
I mean, it changes so fast.
Yep.
Like we can literally go to a school and then 6 months later, hey, guess what? We just came out with this because there's always an issue, right? There's always,
Always something else.
as these vehicles are coming out, the complexities that they're putting inside their audio systems. Somebody's got to sit there and figure out how do we work around that? How do we integrate into it? So if you're not going to schools and bettering your team or stuff like that, I mean, you're going to fall by the wayside because eventually some of these older cars, even though it seems to be a trend right now, a lot of the stuff we see is going to be, 2023 and up.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the old standard way of doing things isn't going to work right, and it just isn't good to do to the customer.
That is kind of what I like about here. So coming back from the shop that I initially started at, we tried to make our stuff look nice and neat. And Mike, I give Mike praise on how good his wiring looks. It's just so pretty. He's on like his own what was it called? The Clean Wiring Group. He's got his own group on Facebook on Clean.
Oh, it's not my
his.
group,
It's not his group. No, I don't want to throw that. But he's on the group, and I love hearing the praise that he gets because it's just so good. But before, everybody wants their wiring to look pretty nice, but sometimes you just don't quite know how to get that next step. Like how to get it that far into this is actually worth taking a picture and posting it on the internet. And moving to this job, we had a lot more tools, a lot more equipment to get your stuff to where it needed to be without it looking like a hack job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the standard is definitely higher, and there's other shops in town, and a lot of them are great. And usually when people come in and we have a flat rate on amplifiers, and one thing we like to let people know is we're gonna cap you off at a flat rate. And the reason we're capping you off, we may cap you off at 3.5 hours, and it may take us 6 hours to do that job, and it may be like shooting ourselves in the foot. But we're taking the time to create an aluminum amp rack. We're illuming all the wiring. We're doing what we call a clean wire install. Not every shop is going to provide that.
Did you get footage of that, Christian, of whenever he did the amp rack for that one truck? You did, right?
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah, we should put something on there. Yeah,
Ram, right?
Yeah, he did a really good amp rack for the back of the Ram. Came out perfect. That's something that's really cool about some of the schoolings that we go to, because I think I like that about Leon with him being our boss for the audio side, because he sees that, hey, it's very essential to see what the guys up top are doing, right? Because it trickles down, and we have to be able to perform as good as what the top people are doing out there in the world, And it's cool keeping our standards to that point, because it makes it where we now have standards. We now, some shop out there is looking at us like, oh, well, VSA is doing it this way, so this is the way we need to do it. I like that. I like that a lot.
We've had that where another shop has recommended us just because it's a different vehicle.
And I don't mean to say that in any kind of
No, it's not a bad way. It's just
way at all, because like I don't want to. I'm very humbled by it. Like that's awesome that we keep that kind of.
You
that
want
kind
to
of
keep
standard, you know?
you want to kind of keep open relationships with other shops, because sometimes you need a part, sometimes they need a part, and this industry.
I do like that about Lubbock.
Yeah,
too.
the
I like
industry
that.
shouldn't be about, I'm trying to get over on you and I want to be better than you. It should be about like
Secretly, it still is. But
Yeah, I mean,
there's at least some respect behind
Just
it.
did it with Tim.
Yeah, we went and got a part over there because we're on good terms with them, and that's good. We needed a line out converter, and they were able to help us out.
Yes, sir.
And we'll order one on Monday and give it back to them, right? But in today's industry, in the older days, it was like somebody's like, man, I want to get new speakers. I don't like the way my speakers sound. You're like, okay, cool. Nowadays, people will come in like, I don't like the way my speakers sound. I need new speakers. And you're like, can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Your vehicle's pre-tuned, which means, number one, it's already built.
No matter what you do, you're going to get the same sound out of
It's already built
different
around
speaker.
that factory speaker. Mm-hmm. So if I change it and I give you a higher impedance speaker, number one, it's going to be way quieter.
Yeah.
Number two, that speaker in your door is probably playing like a mid-bass driver, so a coaxial's not going to do. And this is where we get into the fact that
It'd be equivalent to putting a bigger water hose on a smaller nozzle.
There you go.
Same
Yeah.
thing. It's the
Right.
same
You
thing. You're
get a.
You're not. You can get the best water hose in the world. If it's not shooting water out in the pressure it needs to, it's not going to do it. So you got to get to the source. What's the source? It's that amplifier in that car, right?
Yeah,
Or
the
it's
amplifier
or
is
it's
even just the radio.
The radio, yeah. The
So-
radio is the issue.
And that's why I love these guys. We can literally take that input source in, we can flatline everything,
Yeah.
and then we can take a customer's existing speakers in their newer vehicle that they're upset with the sound,
Yeah.
and it's like, holy
I
like,
kind of
this
think
sounds
that's
completely different.
That's the cool part, because then they get they're like, whoa, these are speakers I already had in the car. All you did was put an amp in there. That is insane how different. And then on top of that, think about what happens when we start changing out the speakers. Oh man,
Oh yeah, once we get to that point,
you're changing your pants. You're like, oh.
because different materials are going to provide different sounds, and ultimately it's always going to be rigidity and stiffness in the cone. And I'm always going to say paper is used so much because, number one, it's lightweight, so you'll hear people call it pressed or pulp treated paper. A lot of these banger subs, right, whether it be Sundown, whether it be DD, Mats, whoever you have, they're using paper cones because it's lightweight and it's more natural sound and hits the airwave quicker. But some companies are going that extra step, and they're finding innovative ways to give you a stiffer cone because that's kind of what you want, so you don't have cone flex.
So like for me, Mike, whenever I was first getting into like the in the car audio industry, like paper cone, I don't even know what that is. I have no idea when you say paper, because I'm thinking paper. Like for me, like nowadays, like everything's made out of a particular kind of what is that even?
So you got like polypropylene,
Yeah.
you got polymica.
Yeah. But like you came from a time period where it was like almost legit paper.
So right, like any factory speaker, you pretty much pull apart. Like when you see your finger goes through it, right?
Yeah.
It's paper. Only thing is, it's very untreated paper. I mean, it's treated to an extent.
Yeah. I remember you telling me a story that I didn't understand it until way later on, but you were telling me about your kid and how you had taught her how to make a speaker. You should tell me.
So we did a science project,
Yeah.
and I love science projects, right? So sound is going to travel through, right? Like if we close this barrier down and the speaker's over there, you hear it.
Have you had this one? The blue
I'm
one?
drinking that one right
That
now.
was good.
Yeah, it's
I like
actually
this
good,
one. Yeah.
This is the one that Christian didn't
I
want.
really
right?
like the green one. Green one. Christian was trying to fight me over. Some
Right.
lime. It was good.
But-
this one's okay. This one's really good. Continue, sir. I'm sorry.
Just went and got. It was one of those ones, a science project, and I'd seen it somewhere, and I was like, "That sounds cool. I want to try that." So when she had the option to do a science project, it was going to say, "Let's do one on sound," and sound's ability to transfer through almost any object, right? For the most part,
Yeah.
because you can even take a coil and put your finger, you'll hear it hissing,
yeah,
right?
because then they even make like a little speaker you could sit there and put on something, and all of a sudden now that object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we took paper plates and paper bowls, and we took construction paper and cut little strips and folded it and glued them, and took an actual toilet paper roll, cut it, wrapped some IA wire around it to make a coil. And that's because it's treated, so when you're wrapping one way and the other, you're not have to worry about a dead short. And you can literally sit there and play music through a paper plate, right? I mean, now it's muffled,
Yeah, you told me about that. I was just like, what?
but and she won that science project, right? And it's one of those things that in a vehicle with paper cone, it is very natural sounding. The only problem is it doesn't hold it very well. So when you take companies that are like when you take a matte sub, all it is treated paper. They've stiffened that cone so it can handle the heat, handle some of the weather, conditions because it's going to be in your vehicle. But they're using paper because it's lightweight.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at cone flex, if you got a heavy cone,
Yeah.
and that coil moves in the center, you got cone flex, so you get distortion. Now, speaking of that, I want to bring this out because I'm really excited about this.
I like those. Yeah. Look at the back of the speaker, though. This is where I was like.
It takes a lot to get me excited, right? Unless you're my woman, babe. You get me excited all the time. But this is the TD 6.5. And when you look at it, it looks so small and so simple. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, like, when you hear the term game changer, this is what truly did. They truly changed it. So one of the biggest things when you look at this, you got neodymium magnets. Neodymium magnets are going to be stronger than your ferrite and your, just regular magnets, right? Yeah. Now, they don't handle as much heat, but they don't need to because of the efficiency of this. This is a full perimeter coil. So what that means is this coil is the exact same size as this cone. So when you're moving linearly, there is no cone flex. No. And they've got 3-layer foam, so it's lightweight.
That's true. And that's a Truly speaker.
This is a Truly speaker, and I heard these at Knowledge Fest. You didn't get to go with this year.
No, I lucked out, unfortunately.
But they had 2 6.5s in when we were at Knowledge Fest in their booth, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe they were in the 6th order band pass, and even then, that's impressive because not every speaker is going to be able to perform well in that. And these little guys right here sounded amazing. And one of our owners just got a new Ram pickup and wants to do 4 of these. And I'm excited about that because he's like, Mike, I'm going to have you build a box for that. So I'm like, y'all may look at it and think like, that don't even...
Is that the only woofer that they make? Or
they make a 10-inch version?
Do they also make like a... No, I would say that's a woofer, right? That is a woofer.
This is a woofer. They make a 10-inch version of this, and they make this pack. So I remember years ago, I can't remember the name of it, so truly I apologize, I can't remember that. But I remember years ago thinking, man, I can't wait till they just make a Bluetooth amplifier. So they've got a badass speaker box that you can just put in your car. You charge it up like you would any battery.
Yeah.
Put in your car and Bluetooth, and it plays.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you can take it out and put it at the beach. Take it out, put it at a dance.
That's a Jeep or Bronco drivers, right?
Exactly.
Always out at the beach, like oh.
So I can honestly say that it takes a lot to get me excited, and
like giggles.
You like giggles, right?
Yeah, she'd like that.
MSC America, I love what they're doing with their amplifiers, and
yeah,
it's actually Audio-Tech Fisher. MSC America is going to be the distributor here, but Audio-Tech Fisher, whether it's going to be their Helix, their Brax, their Match, even their speakers, right? I mean, everything they do is solid, and I don't think I've seen anything really come back blown yet.
I kind of like that. That's the group that we chose to go with too. Like
it covers just about every. Really it covers every vehicle.
They do this, and that's the cool part. I feel like a lot of newer shops when they first start off trying to because I've started several shops. I always try and start off thinking, oh, we're opening up a shop. We know you got some audio background. Let me get you over here. Nobody ever bothers to go to the Knowledge Fest and stuff. And I feel like that's where a lot of people miss out, man, because you get to learn a lot of cool shit. We wouldn't even know about half the stuff that is coming out. Like Truly, we wouldn't have known about them this year, right?
And here's the crazy thing: they've been out about 10 years.
Yeah,
they're finally getting that recognition. I think people are finally noticing them.
Yeah,
and it could be because
rightfully so.
Yeah,
right?
they're at the shows.
I've never seen a speaker like that before.
And I'm sure some people will be like, yeah, whatever. But I'm like, I heard them, and the box is probably about this big. And yeah, it was a little hatchback vehicle, but even then, they were smooth. They played low enough that they could probably appease the average listener, right? If you're a bass head, and you might want to step up to their 10.
And that's something else too. Like in this line of work, we work on high end vehicles, and we have a lot of people that listen to a lot of good stuff, and they want the best quality stuff. But a lot of times, I mean, people they don't really know what they want until they hear it.
Yeah, this is one of those industries, and you know what? We had a customer today, the older gentleman. His name was Mike. He had the remote start that you had to reprogram, right? Yep. And we were talking
cool World War II stories.
Yeah, great
like
dude.
Mr.
We talked for a little bit. I think his wife had to hurry him out of there. Sorry, Kristen.
He was telling me about Lubbock being part of the part of helping out with World War II's Air Force.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. That was very, very knowledgeable. But that's also the cool part about meeting the customers that you're working with. I think that's a very good marketing tool. Is like making sure you know your customer.
Person.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's
not even marketing tool. Just being a good person in general. Meeting your client you're working with.
And I could say this: he was like singing y'all's praises, like with
was
yourself,
very nice. He was very
with
nice.
Carson, even Christian. Like we were up there talking. He
Tried to
was
be
like, you know
very
what? I got to
professional.
say, those guys you got in the back, they're great. All of them are great. They all talk to me. They all,
Really?
Yeah, like he literally,
Yeah,
and that feels good.
He's like, I
coming.
like that you can say, hey, I want. Can you finish up with that? Yeah, sure.
So, because I originally started to reprogram his remote start, but then we had a customer come in with their son. They were looking at adding some subwoofers to his truck. So, since they were sitting here waiting, I was like, "Hey, Loss, can you? I'm already in the clone process, right? It's already on the computer. I just need you to finish it up." And I let him know, and he was like, "I thought that was great that he was able just to pick up where you left off and then seamlessly continue."
I just finished that base package. It was perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. And it's one of those things. Yeah, we're a little short-handed right now because we got the owners away. So it's good knowing
The
that
owners are away. It's time to play.
it is time to play.
Carson.
But yeah, so it was good that you were able to come in and
So y'all know
finish it where it left off.
Defeva's in the room. Just so y'all know.
The viewers in the room. It is a little hot in here. A little hot in here.
I promise.
Yeah. But yeah, so for me in this industry, it does take a lot for me to get excited about stuff. And when I saw that subwoofer there, and then when Steve ordered him and brought him here, and I actually got to like look at it, holding it in my hand, I'm like, I've seen some people look at it, I was like, it don't look like much, and I'm looking at it like when people talk about game changers, that's what they did there.
All mine just keep spewing out. Look
I
at
thought
this.
I was excited about.
Oh shit!
I thought I was
Yeah.
excited about the truly, clearly.
I still have some in this one, but this is a really good one, and I didn't really like this one so much. So I'm gonna save the rest of this one for the last little chug that I gotta drink.
I wish I had known that because I would have rather had the regular one.
I really would have just rather had the blue.
I still want to say.
The green one was okay, but that man, it's a gelato.
And one of these guys, one of these days when you guys sponsor us, we'll take the tape
Yeah,
off.
we'll start taking these tapes off. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm not gonna.
There's no name on this beer, but I'm sure we know what
We
name
know who
is
it
on
is.
this
Yeah.
beer.
Think of the sun, and you'll know who it is. But
If you would, I would love to promote that. I
but
love
yeah,
this.
I'm not
This
gonna
is great.
promote you. I can't promote you for
I'd
free.
promote it.
Right? You don't deserve this.
I'd get a
shit.
tattoo of it on there.
So, I said what I was excited about, really, and right now I just want to build an enclosure for these, and I'm like looking forward to hearing them bang and be like, man. And then for people to look at them and be like, that's what's doing that.
So cold.
What have you seen coming out, or what have you seen that you're just like, dude, this is, as our boss would say, a game changer?
Oh man, well that's kind of the cool part. Like right now, with it being 2025 turning into 2026, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. I really like that we're starting to integrate into Tesla things.
Oh, yeah.
I've not had the privilege of having to do anything yet on a Tesla owner's stuff. Tesla's got a lot of cool stuff already in their cars, so it's kind of hard to do a remote start on a car that's already got a remote start in it,
Yeah.
But
And the fact that you can just update it, you take a lunch.
right.
Say,
Oh, the sound system's not.
I want to
great,
add
it's just
self-drive.
Yes,
Download it while your lunch break.
But I am learning a lot of things. I'm learning a lot of different stuff about different things like that, and I don't know. I like that we're integrating into the new age. I really do. Anytime we get a new vehicle in, I really like, especially when Leon's got the whiteboard up and he's like, "Oh, all right, we got a big list of things we're doing to this car."
Mm-hmm.
That tells me, oh, that's a $10,000-$15,000 job. That tells me that we're going to be working day in, day out on that car. Man, I love those days. I do.
You know, and I do too. And it's crazy because there was a time like,
Yeah,
and
you
this is what
sometimes
I
dread it.
talk about it when you look about it. So like we were talking about La Giggles, and she had that Jeep, and I loved working on that. But I remember looking at it thinking like, we could have just ran a freaking Helix V18 and did exactly what all three of those amps did.
Well, no, because whenever I was building, because remember I had to sit there and build.
Did the aluminum racks?
I built brackets for every single seat to put an amp underneath every seat in that car, And we came to realization that we could have done probably, wasn't it like 2 more channels more had we just gone with a different amp?
Yeah.
But he had already sold the package the way he sold it.
Yeah, and it was one of those ones that was like, you know what, we got it here, and it's in our budget.
That's
so
a
let's
fumble
just,
on us.
Yeah,
And that's not
let's
too
just
big
do
of a
it.
fumble. It still did what we wanted
Yeah,
it to do.
but
Stinger radios too.
and she was just looking for loud, right? She's going to be cruising the beach, and she's got that
What-
tower rack back there.
What
with
was your opinion on that Stinger radio that we had to put in there? Because we had a bit of an issue. I don't even know if it was.
Well,
a Stinger
no, the
issue.
high 10,
It was the fiber optic cable that was the problem the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
it was. Actually, it was the DSP itself, the RTA.
Well, but then
The opening was
did
too
we
wide.
we were also having issues with the lights though, and it having a light humming noise.
So it was crazy. After we replaced the DSP, and then when she would turn on, because she had box for the rack, lights for the box,
Yeah.
and lights for what else was there? I think the rest of the
yeah.
speakers, right? So
But
she had.
they also stated like that was it had something to do with
So what it was is there was just generated noise because you have so many lights in that back
yeah,
area.
Yeah.
So what I did is instead of running a wire into the vehicle to get its power source, I went directly to the battery and powered the relays up there.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Didn't we just watch something on some speaker systems? Yeah, or I think so, because he just had us watch that video where it was talking about the speakers that they were integrating in the lights in. Remember, we all were.
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
there, they were talking about so for all you people that are tired of hearing your lights whenever you're.
Yep. Kicker.
Yeah,
Kicker
they
is
did
doing that now.
completely separate. Yeah, that's Kicker. That's right.
Yeah, Kicker's doing it.
Kicker's going into that.
And
now.
that's what you're looking at, because not only did we add our own RGBs in, but all of her speakers had the built-in lights in it. So
And that's-
whenever she would click all of it on in the back, we got a little hum. And of course, you couldn't hear it if you had the
Yeah.
radio playing, but at
And
a
see,
zero volume.
that's something that I think that a lot of people really need to understand whenever they whenever they are upgrading their car into putting them, because a lot of people, they always think like, I just want my car to work. I just want it to do what I want it to do. I don't want any issues. And a lot of times we as installers almost don't even realize that these are things that could be problems later on, or things that we could even, like, we didn't know that we were going to have feedback in our lights from.
Well, it was
the
crazy. It
speakers,
didn't
you know?
have it originally.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah, right.
until we replaced the RTA, and then all of a sudden they came in, and I was like, that's odd.
That's what I mean, though. Like
Yeah.
these, we run just like it's an inconvenience to you, it's an inconvenience to us, because now we have to work on your car longer because we're trying to figure out what's even the problem. And that's the thing. Now it's diagnostics. Now we got to figure out what's even the problem with that thing that we just installed in your car.
And luckily,
You know?
luckily, that was one of those ones where whenever I heard, I was like, you know what? It only does it when you kick on the backlights, and I was like, and there's a ton of backlights. So I was, yeah,
We
I
really do.
immediately
I
just.
hope. Do we have any footage of that car? I love that car.
I have pictures of
Was
it.
it cheap?
So
We did. It was. Was it weight? What were the tower speakers that we
It was
did?
all DS18.
DS18. Yeah, everything was DS18.
So it was built for loud,
bunch of LED,
loud,
LED
and to
lights.
get your attention. And so yeah, it was crazy. Didn't have it in there before, and then it came in. And the first thing I did when I heard the noise, I was like, let me just get a jumper wire on the relays. Ran it outside because the high 10 is, I love the high 10 because you can go to the accessory and name what your trigger is.
Yeah.
And so she can just hit a button, and it's built into the radio. So yeah, once I just jumped the wire over to the battery, the noise went away. So I was like, all right, we're just going to run a wire
that
fuse
way.
at the battery, separate it completely from the
Fix
interior
that thing.
source.
But as far as the Stinger radio, though, it was a good radio, right?
I loved this.
What I liked, though, was that you could sit there and turn the lights on with the radio. Like, It was almost like flicking a switch.
That's what I'm saying.
so
Yeah, it's
cool.
got built-in. It gives you 4 outputs, and you could use that because it'll allow you to do latch momentary. So if you wanted to do a winch or something like that, I mean, it's crazy how these manufacturers are just incorporating so much. And we just literally did a Horizon 12 in a 2014 Silverado, and that gentleman wants to come back and get a grill light, and he was thinking about, well, I'm going to do other stuff. Where would I put my switches? And I was like, you got 4 outputs on the radio. And he was like, what? So
That's something else we didn't talk about. I didn't mention a lot, but I do love to do LED lights. I love lighting. I know you don't like it. I love to. And it sucks, too, because, like, I know your frustrations because, like, one little nick and now it's green. And
Right,
it's
yeah.
always going to be green, like, or
you're
it's
back
always
with-
going to be blue.
But
But man, when it's working right,
Oh yeah,
man,
I
need
hate
for
putting
speed
them
cars. Oh man, I love those.
I hate putting them in, but once they're done, I'm like, okay, that looks badass.
It
But
does
the
look
reason
badass.
I don't like it is because I don't think you're around when Fast and Furious, came out, right?
Nope.
Fast and Furious came
I was
out,
not an installer at that moment.
and guess what? Here in Lubbock, we didn't have any Fast and Furious. We had the Slow and Curious, right? So we would have somebody in
little
a
Saturn Ion. Right?
yeah, we'd have someone in a I'm not dogging you for having a Saturn Ion, but they would put the
had
biggest
two.
spoiler on there, and they wanted all these damn neon lights in it, and you're like, seriously? I mean, I'm sorry, you're gonna go race this 4-cylinder, everything's stock on it. I'm hitting 0 to 60 in a minute and a half. It was just ridiculous. Because they just thought the more lights they put on it, the cooler it was. And so for me, being just like an installer, like jacking that car up, and LEDs have changed a lot back then. They were like big old glass tubes.
No kidding.
And I already knew as soon as they scrape, guess what? Here they come back in.
Hey, my stuff
The
ain't
tube's
working.
broken. Yeah, and you're like, God dang it. So that's why I don't like it. I mean, with
Now
the
though,
LEDs, they're still cool, but
those big old glass tubes have now turned into nice plastic little
Oh,
brackets,
yeah.
little beams.
and they're so much brighter too.
Oh,
That's the
yes.
crazy thing. It's
I
like
love
way
it.
brighter than it was before.
What I don't like is the Bluetooth. I swear because everybody's got a different app, and all the apps it just seems like they're real quickly put together just to hurry up and so like we ran into an issue where she was trying to do interior lights and exterior lights, and the app would not communicate with both modules for some reason.
Are we talking about Miss Vicky?
Yes.
Yeah.
We fixed the
And it was the
issue
same
at some
lights. They
point.
were Heiss lights,
We
right?
ended up having to go with a different brand of lights, but though you get internet lights, you get what you pay for, more or less. But lighting, I love doing, especially like rock lighting. Oh man, I love rock lighting. Heiss, it's Heiss, right? Heiss lighting.
You enjoy the Heiss lights, and they
I
make great
do-
LEDs.
I
Yeah.
do love making those or putting those in cars. I've always wanted to put them in mine. The one time I ever had LEDs, had a roll. I only had a roll, and I sat there and went to an auto parts store and got some toggle switches for red, blue, and
Damn.
red, blue, and green. And I was sitting there. Oh, y'all want purple? And I do red and blue. Flick both toggle switches on. Oh, the whole interior of the car is purple.
But here's
My
the funny,
kids thought I was the shit. I
Yeah.
looked at it like, man.
the
I
funny
fucked
thing
my
is you were
car.
able to figure that out. Man, right? Freaking put like, if I put 11 switches in here,
I'm gonna
man,
get some
we're,
kind
yeah,
of
we're
lighting.
gonna be able to mix and match and color
I
coordinate.
burned out like 3 switches, dude. There's
Speaking of switches, I want to talk about this now that you brought that up. So we're talking about Tit God 1. He's your ex-father-in-law.
Oh,
so,
he is.
So we'll just, Jimmy's his name, right?
yeah. We already mentioned his name. My
yeah,
fault
you already
for
mentioned
that.
his name.
Sorry.
And I'm still going to try to get.
Censor it.
I'm still I'm still going to try to get him
raw
on.
and uncut. It's
Yeah,
all right.
This is true. These are facts.
I
Were
love
you
this
there when he
story.
burned those relays?
Yeah, I sure was. Okay, so he was trying to do a 5-wire relay.
He
Okay,
wasn't working here at the time. He wasn't-
5-wire relay. This is where I wanted to be at this shop because these guys knew what. Okay, so I basically had a master installer, or at least my master installer, and he could not fit that part at all. He did not know what a 5-wire relay was, and what you do for that's for
As far
a
as
lock,
wiring it?
yeah, it's a lock unlock system for a truck, and you have to wire it a particular way in order for a remote start to work properly.
For the door locks, yeah.
Yeah, for the door locks to work in the remote start. And and what sucks is we had diagrams. There were diagrams, but I shit you not. I go to back that car. He's like, it's good, it's going. I'm like, okay. I go to start the car. I go to back up, and that freaking thing caught fire. I'm not playing. Like the jacket just caught fire immediately. There was so much smoke in that car. I was like, "What the hell?" We turned it off. I don't know how you smoke a relay. And what's funny is I went and I came to this shop and they're like, "Hey, like we're going to take you to a class where they're going to teach you about 12-volt electronics relays, diodes, things like that."
Mm-hmm.
I took that and I actually got to work out how he could have possibly caught fire a relay. And what's funny is he didn't just do it once, he did it like 3 times.
And
Came up to y'all's shop
Because he had to come get a relay.
He's like, I swear it's just a bad relay, and you're like, all 3 of them.
Well, so from my standpoint, when he came in the shop, And Leon's like, "Hey, Mike, come here." And he's like, "Well," he goes, "Have you ever heard of a relay like just burning up?" And I was like burning up how? Like just going bad? He's like, "No, like catching fire." You know? And I was like, "Catching fire?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I mean, you'd have to dead short it." He goes,
Yeah.
"Well, I wired everything correctly. I know it did. I'm pretty sure they're just defective."
No, you
I was like, "If they weren't, they are now." You know, like especially if you're wiring them. But yeah, when you look at it, you're like he basically had 87 and 30 dead shorted somewhere. Whenever you clicked it, it was
the
power
minute
and
ignition
ground.
hit, it was. And it was so funny. There was so much smoke. And then the best part was he's like, "Okay, I think I got it." And he plugged the relay back in, started the car, smoke again. He's like, "God dang it." He just pulled it off. I'm just like, "Ah."
These relays are bad. You know.
So that's the thing though. This was my senior. This is the guy that's mentoring me. He's teaching me everything. So I'm like, this is where I was like, okay, this is going to be a lawsuit at some point. So
Right.
I need to
ever wanna do
I
relays.
need to get the hell out of here. Not in a bad way. In a bad way. I need to get out of here. So I immediately went and found these guys. They're like, I mean, if we're asking them for help, clearly they have the technology, right?
They have the understanding.
They
how
have
this,
the understanding.
so what you're saying is a relay should not catch fire. Not like that. No.
Not like that, no.
It should give you some power if you need it, but not. But yeah.
I'll send a diagram,
Look,
Christian.
mine did the same thing.
See?
It's just the original. It's excited.
I just get so excited.
Yeah, and this must have seen Luscious head on and was like, "I'm gonna pop my top."
You saw a motorcycle driving by somewhere.
Yeah.
Luckily, this isn't mine. So, by the way, speaking of this new red tabletop, some of y'all may have noticed that before. It was just
Yeah,
great.
if y'all like it, like,
But compliments of Vernon's signature audio.
we prefer it. I was telling Christian, though, I think this would have been cooler blue. It would have matched.
It would have been blue. But, you know, I mean, you got...
We do have a lot of. We went red at one point.
while,
We
yeah.
went red, we
Red
went
and
blue, black. I miss that one that we had, the installer, and it said basically like a wizard.
Oh, like the,
I
the skills.
missed,
is over
yeah,
there,
we had a T-shirt. We had a T-shirt made, and it was basically saying what an installer was. The definition of an installer is
Yep.
a badass guy that's basically like a wizard.
100% man, yeah.
Freaking love that T-shirt. I don't know where any of mine went. Probably one of the divorces.
Yeah. So
Breakups.
he's literally had like 5 divorces in 2 months.
Breakups or breakups.
Yeah. But yeah, they just, yeah. That's a totally different kind of story right there, because I can tell you right now, these women do not know how to leave Luscious alone. But then again, like there's a rumor going out there, when a woman experiences that kind of pleasure,
No.
don't know how to let it go, right? Like, so, I mean, I don't know, you know, but I'm sure, hey, if one of you want to get on here and let us know, then hey, we'll be happy to hear it. But
Yeah, hit me up.
yeah, but it really is one of that. If I can't have you, I don't want nobody. So,
I can't have you.
as a matter of fact, from my understanding, there's a song in the works. Y'all heard of Fergalicious? We got Fergalicious. Going to be hit all around the world, nationwide. But going back to earlier, you were talking about that you like that we get to go to Knowledge Fest and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
dude, I really do. Like, I went. So my first time going, I actually went with Leon by himself. That was an experience of its own.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to have Leon on here. This is gonna be fun.
It's going to be a 3-part saga, maybe even 4.
Yep.
But-
this is a saga. I can't wait. You need to do that Joe Dirt thing where it's
The
like
saga cannot be told in one day, you know?
yeah, you need to say that last part too, where he's like, "So where we left off, you were covered in crap, and you're a complete loser."
Nailed the pertinent fact.
Hey, what? No, wait.
It'd be like,
Oh, that would be perfect.
I'll do it.
No,
You know?
no, but that's the thing though. So Leon would take me to these, and I think I don't know what it was. I think he just saw that I was interested, like really interested in what he was trying to show me, because like you try to live through the people you're trying to teach. So like you see that they're getting excited about, oh, this is how car audio works. Man, I want to take you to everything, and he did. He took me to like all kinds of different classes. I'm very appreciative of all of it, because like I learned a lot of different. I did not know a lot of stuff, and it's funny because like I almost felt like I was unqualified to even be in a bay at that other shop, because I was like I had such lack of knowledge to what I should be installing. Like there's not a wonder why I was not sued at that place. And I'm not saying it was horrible installs. All of them worked fine. It's just the cleanliness, keeping everything like really safe, like any of it. Like I know I'm pretty sure at that first job, I'm pretty sure I put a ground at way more than 18 inches, like, or I think is it 18? It's a foot now, right?
Yeah. I mean, as close as possible.
Yeah, no, like the closer the better, but still, like that's my point. Like I had a full ground going all the way to a battery
The
at some
other side,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, like
You know, as far as
why?
fusing.
Yeah, why? Why are you doing? Well, you could have just grounded it here on the frame. No, I didn't know.
As far as fusing under the hood, you want it within 18 inches of battery. What's crazy is in the older days, I don't even know how they do IASC anymore. I haven't got to go to like an actual competition. They used to use a rubber chicken because it happened to be that exact length when you stretched it. They would take your fuse and battery and check. And if you were further than that, they would have to disqualify you just based upon the principle of.
See, those are important things to know too, because if you don't know, like the more slack you have for the ground, the more you have area for it to burn up, and that's
Yeah, you're creating heat,
yeah,
right?
like
and
you're creating you're gonna melt something basically.
so if you don't know, now you know, baby. But if you're kind of one of those owners, or even if you're just a younger installer and you've never been to a knowledge fest, or you kind of wonder about it, if you're going to have any success in the industry, I'm not saying you have to go, because there is YouTube University, and most of the people now, like you got the 12-volt clean wire.
That's where I started. I'm not. I had. Oh, my alternator went out. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, some poor blowjo went out there and filmed himself doing a shitty install on an alternator. Well, you know what? I learned.
I'm gonna do that same shitty install on my alternator.
Exactly.
But no, and that's kind of a lot of it.
though.
Social media has opened up the doors for so many things and for so much knowledge to be gained out there.
I kind of like that I was born around that time too, because it was originally, like when I first started growing up, YouTube was more of a communications platform. It wasn't even necessarily, or an entertainment platform. It wasn't even necessarily like a how to, like there wasn't very many how to people out there. And I feel like the car audio, or not even car audio, just car industry in general, really saw that and was like, oh, dude, we can show you how to pop off panels. Like, I don't know how many times I'm looking at a car, I'm like, dude, I don't even want to touch it. I don't want to touch all that. Like, this is a brand new 2026 Ford with the big old screen. I don't want to pull that screen out of that car. I don't. And but there was some jackass that was like, oh, I'll fucking do it. I'll watch it. I'm like, the best, my favorite videos are where they're like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and try to pull this off. Nope. And then it cuts to the next scene. They're like, okay, so that didn't work. Yeah. So it's hanging. But what we found out was there's these two screws here. So later on, instead of just ripping it out, pull these two screws. Like, those are knowledgeable.
Yeah, those are tidbits, because so many times,
if you're willing, if you can afford to fuck it up, by all means, let me learn off of your fuck up.
Yeah, but and you know me well enough to know I hate watching. Yeah, I hate watching YouTube University. It's one of the like.
Oh yeah, well yeah, because like especially like I don't know how, like especially first starting off, I'd sit there and start trying to take apart a car. And I'm sitting here like spending like a good 2 minutes watching, like skipping through to see like, okay, there's a bolt here, and you're like, Laz, just look at the pressure points. Like, look, like when I pull it this way, and I'm like, oh, but it's, I got better at doing that.
Yeah,
too.
it's that older school mentality because we didn't have it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so for me, it was always like, and I it would suck like, because when we would get a new vehicle in, I already knew as the bay manager it was coming to me, and he'd be like, hey Mike, do you know how to take this part? Yeah, I just fell out of bed this morning, and be like, oops, I can freaking take this car apart. Yep. No, I got to look at it the same as anybody else has to. I mean, sometimes if I'm pulling this way, it's not giving, and guess what? The door panel probably lifts up and not out. Yeah. Luckily, I don't have that strength you got, and of course we can't say it, we get canceled, but you're known for having a certain kind of strength that even if the door was to lift up, you'd...
Carlos Mencia called it Titity strength.
Yeah, the Titity strength. So
I don't know where that came about either. I don't.
I forgot what I saw you live. I think I saw you taking a whole seat out by yourself, and I was like, that boy don't even realize that's heavy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it comes in weird ways too. Yeah. There'll be sometimes I'm like, dude, I don't even want to pick this up. But then there are some days where I'm like, I got this, and I'm holding it in one hand, and Mike's like, the fuck? Like,
so you see that thing that says 2-man lift?
Huh? Dude, what? Where?
Yeah. But yeah, so pretty much the teeth of these straight. But if you're an owner out there, if you're a young installer out there, or even an older installer, you've never been to Knowledge Fest.
Well, and they're free too, right?
Knowledge Fest
I know.
I mean,
The trip there is not free.
Yeah, the trip is not free.
It's never.
But as far as if you're an installer, yeah, you register, you get to go. It's going to be one of those things that you're going to learn so much, and not only that, you're going to meet other people in the same industry as you. And guess what? It's a good way to network, because a lot of times social media is the only way we can kind of talk to somebody who's smarter than us, or maybe who's worked on that.
Well, and in all honesty, like of all the things I could be talking about, because like it's not like we don't sit there and talk about what we could be talking about on the show. Whenever we do these little things, like even the last time when we did, that's what sucks. Like we had a whole conversation about all this stuff before, and it is like Knowledge Fest. Like I feel like if all the things that really helped me out with learning product, learning how to market things, how to make a sale, anything, and that's the cool part. It's not just about just your product. It's not like you're going there just to learn about Sony and the new shit they're coming out with. You're learning about, like, there are people that are like, hey, I want to teach you guys how to make your shop a little more successful, because we have this. We have this stuff. We didn't know it was there, but hey, these guys are developing apps now that are helping us out with our shops. Maybe you should check it out. It helped us. Y'all check it out.
And the reality is, like, everything is so digital now, social media. So we brought in Christian in, right? And Christian is doing the apps.
Man.
And
Our
you know,
videos are just
freaking
point.
as far as driving a vehicle, he's for shit. But as far as freaking setting up apps and doing stuff like that, man,
we didn't even talk about that.
the man knows what he's doing. Well, we can talk about it real quick. So if you didn't see the first episode, we talked about Christian, and within his first like month and a half here, he broke a water line, and he pretty much decided that he did not like a 2026 Ram. And decided to run into a gas meter.
That was my job to replace all that
And
shit.
yeah, so this falls on the Luscious over here.
Down to the pipe, too.
Yeah. it was one of those ones where, yeah, you're the one that wound up having to replace the bumper and this and that. But
that was funny because like I did the same thing. I fucked up. Especially starting off, like I just told you my background on where I came from. So I think my first honest fuck up that I was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna get fired. Like I want to cry. Like I want to go home. I just want to like curl up in the fetal position and just cry the rest of the night. I was backing a car up, and where our alley sucks. We talked about it in the last episode. Even whenever I talked before.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle.
It's
a freaking
just awful.
Bays. Like, it's horrible.
Like, hey, let's get this let's get this awesome audio shop, where we need to pull cars in. Let's get them the worst garage ever.
Let's put the bay opening here, but the pole right there,
So
and then a dumpster right here.
I backed the truck up, and as I'm backing up, I start to turn, and I just smush the whole side of the truck into the side of the pole. I heard it, but I didn't know what was going on.
Man.
My boss comes out, and he's like, "The fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, I don't know. I put it in drive, and I start going forward, and it's still making that noise. I'm like, what in the hell? Little did I realize there's a pole right here.
Yeah.
So it was cool because he basically showed me, like, 'cause I'm like, this is thousands of dollars worth of damage. I'm so screwed. And he's like, no, we got a guy named Jimmy. He's going to help us out. We'll fix it. This is not Tent God.
Not Tent God Jimmy. This is another Jimmy.
Another Jimmy.
Yeah.
There's many
Great
Jimmys.
paint body
There are
man.
many Jimmys out in the world, but there's not one quite like.
Yeah,
Mr.
there's many
Jimmy.
Jimmys out in the world, but this one's mine, right?
This one's mine. Yes. We called the customer, told him, hey, we had a little bit of an issue, but we're gonna get this fixed. Very next day, you couldn't even tell I smashed that bumper up, or that fender up. So
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. I meet so many guys that want to sit there and act like they've never screwed up.
No.
I'm like, if you have been in this business any sort of time,
I hate
something has happened because you can't control everything. It's impossible.
I think what I hate the worst, Mike, is whenever I'm sitting here taking apart your dash, and it is so sun rotted. And all I do is start pulling on it, and it just falls, like, disintegrates in my hands.
Freaking 99 Dodge Ram.
Yeah, no, Chevy Silverado. Like,
That too, yeah.
the 09 to 012 or 2012. Freaking Chevy Silverado. Jesus,
If you guys are buying a new vehicle, you come see Carson the Fever, who put some ceramic tin on that windshield, and it's going to keep that from keep that from happening.
Right.
It's going to protect that sun will rot that dash and dry it up.
I want to get into that. Like I like tinning too. I get to practice around.
You're kind of like a floater, not like in that kind of floater, but like in the fact that you can do. If you need to be helped in the tent department.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not, like, if Carson's not here, I'm not tinting no cars.
Right,
I'm not by myself. But if Carson's here, I'll knock a side out.
I'll fuck up some tint.
Yeah, I'll fuck up some tint. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By all means. I love that. I don't know, I grew up in my other jobs that I worked at. I was always a floater. I was always trying to do multiple things at once because I could. I could just pay attention to things, and I feel like I can... get better at different jobs, jack of all trades kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much, because you're like a resident mechanic, installer, friggin' tinner, friggin' Latin lover. Like, you're just like friggin' got all these job titles.
Had my boss being like, "Hey, I got this side job for you. Let's put a starter on this chick's car. Talk to her." I'm like, this poor woman. I'm so sorry. She just so down on her luck. I would not do that. I wouldn't mess with any of that.
Yeah, you got to have good luck if you want to get with Luscious.
God.
So, if you got bad luck, he ain't having it.
No.
He's already got his own bad luck. He don't need yours.
Yeah. That was bad. Hey, but needless to say, her starter's on there. She's got a new battery.
Any battery? Oh yeah, because you finished that yesterday,
Yeah,
right? I didn't even ask you. Like,
Man, and I feel so bad. I feel so bad because my poor boss. We got two bosses, and one of them likes to do things that the other one doesn't like for us to be doing. So, and I get caught between both of those guys because I'm doing jobs.
It's like an Eiffel Tower, but not fun. You know what I mean? It's like,
so I got one boss. He's my legit boss too. He's the guy that's like, you're the audio side. This is where you stay, and I'm like, yeah, but this guy's getting me a side job over here.
You got the other guys like,
how do we? Yeah,
running a shop's like fun. You're on my side.
Running a shop must be real fun.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
just looking at the employees, like I would just be so miserable.
I would think for our owners, I can see probably why they get a little stressed out.
I can see why they're out of town this week.
Yeah, I can see why they get a little stressed out. You're like, I mean, you got Luscious, and he's got. Have you ever heard the song "Take It Easy"?
7 women on my mind.
The difference is there's 7 women with laws on their mind. They're not on his.
I just want to be away.
And then you've got Christian calling the Secretary of State, bothering him, and
I've been trying to.
Got so many things that are just.
I've been trying to buy milk for a while. They just can't. They just keep finding me buying milk.
But at the end of the day, as much as we goof off and have fun with each other, the work gets done.
Yeah, this job is awesome. This job is really cool. And what's cool too, Mike, what I really like about this is kind of the reason why I even got into this kind of field is it's cool because you can learn and you can apply that knowledge to other things that you just use in daily activities in general. Mm-hmm. Like you teaching your kid about sound.
Good science project.
Yeah,
right?
science project. That's
we're
badass.
We're gonna win this one, baby.
Yeah, that's cool. That's neat to be able to
even in robotics, right? Even if you're going to build robotics, like we know how to take little 9-volt batteries, solder them with this, and like this motor spin, and do all that.
Yeah,
it comes in handy. And
I will say I started off. I really did. I started off just YouTubing my shit. So I found a job that was like, hey, like we'll take your YouTube knowledge and make it better. And I'm very appreciative of it.
We'll take what you learned on YouTube and just erase that, and then we'll just
make it incredibly better.
Mm-hmm. But no, there's nothing wrong with YouTube University. Just be careful on what you're watching, because you will get a lot of bad information, but there's a lot of good information out there. Common sense, right? And it seems like there's not as much of that as there used to be. But if you got a 2020 Ford F-150, don't think you're going to do what the guy in the 2002 Chevy Tahoe did. Probably not going to happen, right? But I see you're finished.
I did.
Let me finish mine right there.
That was like the best. I actually want another one. Jeez Louise, yeah.
I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. I usually like the originals, but...
Well, see, I don't normally
I even like the mango. I tried it. I like the mango. I liked them all. But that's me. I'm not very picky.
I liked
you know what I
the
mean?
salt, the lime salt one. The regulars were okay, but this blue one, yeah. But of course, it's like a tomato soup. It's like a tomato based.
Tomato
one.
pasty. But
It was good.
so now that we're done, we're just gonna tell an asinine story.
Yes.
And I gotta tell this one because you're in it.
Oh,
and
good.
you already know what I'm gonna go with.
Oh, no.
And you don't have to say who it was, but so at the end of once we're done, right, we're just gonna tell a story that I've been lucky to be in a bay or be in a situation where I was part of it. So we were at another shop, and it was myself working there, Laws was working there, a guy named Gary that you heard about earlier was working there, and I think you went to go take a lunch or you had to go run an errand or something, but you left. And
Oh God.
we didn't have
Oh no. Okay.
a freaking, and you don't got to say who it was, but just
I know.
like-
go ahead.
like here when if that door was to open, we hear the ding dong, right? Front door open. It was a wide open bay though, so I just remember we're working on something, and I see Gary look up and just stare, and I'm like, turn around, and it was a guy's head just like poking through the door jamb. And we're like, "Can we help you?" And he was like, "Does Laws work here?" Lazaro actually. And we're like, "Yeah, he works here." So right when we said, "Yeah, he works here," he like just walks in, and when he walks in, he's like, little t-shirt, some pajamas. He had like this huge boner though, and some flip flops. And of course, like if you've ever seen that movie Road Trip with the old dude, like pretty much, like, he comes in, he was all like, "Yeah," and with his hands on his hips, right? So yeah, I'm looking for Laz, and me and Gary are just like, "How do you not notice that?" We're like, "Well, he's not here right now." Like, "Well, do you know where he's at?" Like, "I think he went to lunch or something." And he was like, "Okay." He's like, "Do you want us to take a message?" He's like, "No, I know how to get a hold of him." And we're sitting there like, clearly, but
It's awful. It's my grandpa.
and he had flip flops on. So I remember you get there, and we're like, Gary's all like, "What do we do?" So we got to tell Lawson somebody came looking for him. You don't know what clearly he needs them for a reason, right? And
Right.
but yeah, I remember you getting back. We're like, "Hey, some dude was looking for you. Like, what do you look like?" We describe him. It's like he came in with like a freaking huge ass boner, and just like, "I need to get a hold of him." So I guess it's story time. But yeah, then you told us, I was like, "That's my grandpa." We're like, "What the fuck?" But I was like, that's a level of I don't care.
I know.
That I want to get to where I'm just like, you know what? I got business to tend to. You're just going to have to deal with what you got to have to deal with. But yeah, so that is it for this week's episode. This is Lazaro, Luscious, Cantu.
Yep.
I want to thank you all if you sat and watched the whole thing. And again, thanks to Christian for being the guy who's filming this and editing it, and for Carson for always hanging out with us and giving us thumbs up and whatever whenever something's good.
Next one's Megan, right?
Yeah, next week we will have
episode.
Megan, right?
Megan, man, she runs her shop.
Pretty
I
much,
swear,
yeah.
That girl,
This place runs
yeah,
so good.
I swear we wouldn't be.
Just like
her and Christian, man, they're both just they're our little side people that just get all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on.
Yep.
That's them.
Even though they're always arguing with each other.
I know.
Makes
They're
life
like,
fun.
yeah, they're basically like the other Steve and Leon, right? They're like,
Get off my set.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.
Peace out, guys.
Cut!
Here.
There you go.